Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of In Search of Kizomba series. So in this video, we'll like in the past few episodes we saw how I try to establish to the best of my ability, like the difference between the Cape Verdean style Kizomba or like Pasada or whatever you want to call it, and the Angolan style Kizomba, which is pretty much like Semba. So I hope I have not been partial, because like as I earlier mentioned in my earlier videos, I'm just trying to find out the truth here as to what Kizomba is, because I find some differences in the way the earlier Kizomba dancers used to dance, and how the Angolan Kizomba dancers dance. And what I'm learning here is pretty much like Semba, but we dance it to slow music, Kizomba music, like Gero Zouk and Tarashenia and whatnot. Like so. We will watch more videos throughout this series. That's how it's going to be like, because it'll give us a better perspective on like what exactly Kizomba is and how it evolved. And on the way we'll take some we'll read some articles here and there, just to educate ourselves as to what the masters of Kizomba think about Kizomba. Like, so we'll go through all of their perspectives and all of their opinions on how Kizomba started, and like, as in by started I mean not like how it was born, how it was made popular, as in like so let's see. Now today we'll go through an article written by I don't know who, but this article I read a few months back, and it was really informatory about Kizomba. If especially if you're into Kizomba and you want to know, like, as we have seen a lot of videos about Kwenda Lima. So this is like an interview that this person has done with Kwenda Lima. I think she's a lady. I'm not sure. I think she's a lady, but I don't seem to find the name of this lady anywhere. So but anyway, I'll be posting a link of this in this video if you want to have a look at it for yourself. So right now, as of now, like, let's go through what Kwenda Lima says about how Kizomba was made popular and all that. We'll just quickly browse through it, and then let's see what Kwenda Lima says. So this is going to be a long article. Probably ever heard this also crazy thing. Okay, blah 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 blah. Okay. In the middle of a communication blossom, I visited Kwenda Lima. I was told that he's one of the very first Kizomba teachers in Europe. I would call him the Godfather. Very rightly. As at once I opened his web, he must be part of my missing masterpiece of my historical research about Kizomba roots in Europe. I'm really thankful to this person, whoever it is, for writing this article. It gave me a perspective on like how it could have brought into Europe and eventually made popular all around the world. So let's continue. I believe if you ask anyone about the eldest teachers they know, you'd hear names like Albert Rogers, Tony Pirata. So he's like Albert Rogers, Tony Pirata. Oops, what did I do? Sorry about that. So day before I asked 6 a.m. special smell of this. Okay, so the interview starts here. Let's just start my slogan and dance Kizomba with awareness. Okay, with awareness. That's not. See, I'm not going to go through the whole article here. Just the point of interest that we all want to know what like. Okay, you are from Cabo Verde. All those dances like Morna, I think it's Morna, it's not Mora. Or Funana, Batu, Coladera, Tapanga, can you dance all of them? Yes, very particular dance. Okay. Why do you particularly, of all these dances, teach Kizomba? Teach Kizomba because I wanted to reach the world with a different message. What is the message? I could teach, for example, Morna, Batu, but with those dances, it's difficult to open the door into a new culture. Kizomba is much easier. It was much easier to infiltrate, to be in someone else, to open someone else's house and to present the product. Specific, they are not what every culture would accept. Kizomba is what people somehow need because it's closer. It's like a hug. Of course, you have the sensual part, like people say. The most important thing is you are close to that person. Okay, but others are also couple dances like blah blah blah. Okay, do people miss closeness in their life? It's about like I think it's philosophy and whatnot. Okay, let's get to the point. Who brought Kizomba to Europe? When did you get to know about it? Always. I started dancing when I was about 10 years old. Now I'm 40. It's hard to tell you who brought Kizomba to Europe. If you don't know, who knows then? Yeah. Because he's like one of the first people, first dancers to bring Kizomba to Europe. Okay, I'll explain you why. My point of view is any Palop, any African immigrant, especially Cape Verdeans, Angolans, Mozambique and Guinea-Bissau, when moving to Europe, of course, they bring with them their music and dance. Yes. So the first immigrants to Europe brought Kizomba. Why and how? Because when you come to a new country, you bring your culture with you. They were listening their music at home, inviting their colleagues from work and new European friends who asked immigrants what was this music and how to dance to it. In Lisbon, there have been Kizomba discotheques for many years, but they were for a more closed African population. There were some few Portuguese, but not that much. In Holland, there's a huge community of Cape Verdeans. In France and in Luxembourg as well, everywhere where you had a community of Cape Verdeans, Angolans and Mozambique, Kizomba was there. Pasara, at that time we called it Pasara. Okay, this is a very important point here. Kwendalima says they used to call what we call Kizomba now, they used to call it Pasara. The word Kizomba is very new. My generation was growing calling this dance Pasara. Okay, really? You mean Kizomba or Pasara is the same dance? Yes, but before people would say Pasara, then there is another side that you can't see it. It's the commercial part. If we talk about the commercial part, I can tell you who brought Kizomba to Europe. Who? It's very important to understand this difference. Kizomba has always been there in Europe, but someone started to teach it, which is different. When we start teaching Kizomba, which happened here in Portugal, then here you would have Zé Barbosa. So I'm going to have to do a lot more research about the names that I'm going to read right now. I've already read this article a few times. So as part of this series, we'll cover some of these names and then try and figure out to do some research about who these dancers are and what their dance style is. So there you have Zé Barbosa. Zé Barbosa is a very important name. He started to teach Pasara. Then Pechu. Pechu is again a very important name. I believe Pechu is like the founder of Tarraxinia. But at that time he wasn't into Kizomba. He was in African traditional dances. And even before Zé Barbosa, there had been two other guys who used to teach in Beleza, which is an old dance place. Now I've seen a few videos about this Beleza. I think it's a very iconic place for Kizomba. Well, let's continue. Oh, I was recommended to go there tonight. No, but this is the new one. Before there was another very well-known Beleza, but in a different place. I see. They started teaching there, but they were not known. And Kwendalima is not revealing their names either. Then I started teaching with Zé Barbosa and Avelino. So there's Avelino. I think is Avelino Shantare or something. I've seen a few videos of Avelino. Okay, so there are some names here. There's some very important names that we are going to do some research on. Watch some few videos about Zé Barbosa and Avelino and Pechu. So did you learn from them? No. We learned by dancing because it's a part of our culture. So I'm not sure if this implies that they are all Cape Verdeans. I'm not sure. I think Zé Barbosa and Avelino are Cape Verdeans. I'm not sure about Pechu. We learned when we were kids by watching, and then we started to create our own way of interpreting Kizomba, but no one learned from anyone. I mean those five people: Avelino, Chantre, Zebarbosa, Pechu, and Thomas Keita. So these are all some important names that we are going to do some research about in going forward. Yeah. Okay, I don't know any of those names. Those people started here in Portugal, and then Pechu started Afro-Latin connection. They learned from Pechu. Those ones are Portuguese, and then they learned from Pechu. And then I went to London to study, and I started teaching Kizomba there. Okay, so it was your first teaching experience in London? No, it was here in Lisbon. But then I went outside and started to teach it in the UK. And for the festival, which is African Dansar, I think it's like an iconic festival. I've seen a few videos of it. It's like, I believe, dedicated to Semba and Kizomba. African Dancer in Portugal. I brought my students from London. So 90% of the festival was from London. Okay, really. The teachers in Portugal started to realize that Kizomba went outside, and there were some Polish people too. It was enough from that very moment to spread the dance. It was already in Poland and UK. Poland started to consume a lot of Kizomba, inviting teachers there. The same happened in Spain. You mean Albir? Albir was not in the Kizomba at that time. Another guy invited us to teach there. Albir was a student then. Afterwards, he decided to come to Portugal to have lessons with me, so I taught him. And now we are in the situation when most of the people know him better than the ones who actually created it, which is nice. Although it started in Spain, not with him, but with another guy who later left Spain. He moved to USA. I'm not sure who he is referring to here. You mentioned Poland, UK, and Spain, but how did it happen that the capital of urban case is France? Festivals went to France. The French took the idea of the festival and they started organizing the festivals in Paris, like the swimming festival. The Jazzy's one, I'm not sure who. No, Jazzy was one of the elements, but it was Tel. Jazzy was a friend of her helping there. So swimming was very famous. A lot of French people started to come to learn Kizomba, but there was a difference. Some people could not accept Kizomba because of its closeness, sensuality, etc. That pushed them to create their own style of being more apart and making new moves. Some new moves that I don't know where they come from, because some of them could not make the Kizomba steps, so they made a fusion. That became the French style. With this French style, it jumps to urban kids because they were teaching Kizomba, but it was not Kizomba. Urban kids is not Kizomba. It's totally different from Kizomba. It's another dance. Of course, it's another dance. I hate it. I'm not a hater, but urban kids, it's like I don't know, man. It's so disconnected. It's so robotic. It's so hip hopish. Like if I want to dance hip hop, like I would dance hip hop. Now why would I dance urban kiss? But then it has done another good thing. Like it has brought in more and more youngsters around the world because of this appeal, that the youth appeal, the millennial appeal that it has. The hip hop and tarasho and whatnot, and which is I believe it's kind of transforming the way partner dance has always been like. What I'm trying to say is it is bringing in more and more people into partner dance. Earlier it used to be only the Latinos and like the Cubans and like you know what I mean, like the Latin American population. But now it's not the case anymore. Like lots and lots of people are learning urban kids in a way, just because of the way it looks and I think it attracts the younger crowd, which is a good thing. In a way, but it's definitely not Kizomba is what I feel, but it's good. Like as long as people want to have a good time and celebrate and dance to music, I'm fine with that. But it's not Kizomba. So you think so? Of course, it has nothing to do with Kizomba. When you compare the two things, they don't come with the same basis. You cannot compare salsa and merengue and say it's the same dance. They don't have the same basis. You can't say On point. What is the main difference? The main difference is the basics. They can dance under the same music, but even the music is changing. Because it's like a plant which to survive needs to feed from another plant, but afterwards it separates from the plants. This is how it is. Why is Sabangi so negatively perceived by the traditional dance? Why are they so against this change, or better say evolution? I believe that they have the same right for existence. Of course they do, but they have a fear to lose something. Traditional dancers fear to lose the chance to travel, to earn money, to make the business. So this is what makes the fight. The commercial party with me, sure. Okay, it makes sense what he's trying to say here. Okay, so now from now on it's all about urban kids. Blah 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 blah. Not taking anyone's side. There is music in Kizomba that I don't like. Maybe you don't understand. Okay, well, some people don't have much choice. Okay, so that's the awareness. Okay, so this is what he says. Now let's in the coming series of in the forthcoming videos, we'll go ahead and do some research on who these dancers are that Kwenda mentions, who like the founders of, like, or the primary teachers of Kizomba, who brought Kizomba to Europe, which is why it is like so popular here now, like all over the world. So these people. We've seen videos of Kwenda, so like we'll watch videos of Avelino, Chantre, Ze Barbosa, Pechu, Thomas Keita, and everyone, and try to understand like how these dancers, like what these dancers were teaching earlier, and was it Kizomba, was it Semba, what exactly what is. So thanks a lot for watching this video, guys. Stay tuned. See you in the next video. Bye bye.